What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be continuing the series where I pick one particular stat and I create the best possible build you can make for that particular stat. Now, we've already covered the fastest possible build, as well as the best hipfire build, the best tack stance builds. If you guys missed any of those and you want to check them out, I will leave a link to those in the description down below. Today, we're going to be looking at the most accurate build. However, just a note on that, we're going to be looking at the most accurate full auto build. Now, of course, something like a sniper rifle is going to be the most accurate, and semi-autos are generally going to be quite accurate. And even burst guns, especially the AEK-973, those are insanely accurate guns, but there's really nothing interesting to do with those. They're just accurate out of the box. So this is why I wanted to focus on the most accurate full auto build that you can create in the game. Now, to do this, I just went through all of my recoil plots that I've done throughout my gun guide series throughout the year, and that helped me at least narrow this down quite a bit. And it turns out all of the most accurate full auto guns just happen to be in the assault rifle category. The LMGs, for instance, just aren't quite as accurate. And then obviously SMGs are generally not going to be as accurate as assault rifles. So with that in mind, I narrowed this down, added all of the best recoil attachments to the GPR, the Cypher, the Model L, the Ames 85, and the XM4. And then I just shot a couple recoil plots with every single one of these builds to narrow it down to the best possible one, which it turns out is the XM4, and that is going to be the best build that I share today. However, I do want to give a quick honorable mention, at least here, to the Ames 85, since it was just a little bit behind the XM4, and there actually are some advantages to using this particular build, which is the one I used for those recoil plot tests, over that most accurate XM4 build we'll be talking about. Mainly, you're actually able to strafe very effectively in gunfights with this build, whereas with my XM4 build, you can't. So with this one, as well as the XM4 one, we will be using the Gunfighter wildcard, simply because there are several attachments that contribute to better accuracy. And then obviously, if you're going for peak accuracy, you're generally going to want some form of an optic on there as well. So with this one, I personally like the Kepler Microflex. Obviously, pick the optic you're more comfortable with. If you want a higher zoom optic as well, that's totally fine for something like this. I've also got the compensator on there, which is almost always going to be your best bet for vertical recoil control. We have the gain twist barrel for a really nice boost to our bullet velocity, which is more important with the Ames 85 compared to range. We have the vertical foregrip for the best possible horizontal recoil control, extended mag 1, the ergonomic grip, that infiltrator stock so we can strafe in gunfights, and that also helps us with left stick aiming, or aiming by strafing into your target rather than adjusting your actual aim itself. And then finally, we've got recoil springs on there, since they also help with recoil. So that one right there is an excellent runner-up that I definitely recommend at least giving a shot if you are looking for an accurate build, because it has some extra benefits there. But now let's get into the most accurate full auto build that I was able to create in Black Ops 6 at the moment, and this is that XM4 build. And with this, we have a lot of the same attachments. Again, I personally like the Kepler Microflex optic, but pick what you're comfortable with. We of course have the compensator on there, the reinforced barrel, which just happens to be the best with the XM4 in particular, since it gives you the right balance of range and velocity boost for this gun. We have the vertical foregrip, extended mag 1, the ergonomic grip, and then the big key here is the buffer weight stock. This is the attachment that really pushes us over the edge and makes this the most accurate full auto build you can use in the game. Now you might be wondering, what about the XMG, since you can also use the buffer weight stock on that gun and that's a full auto? Well, unfortunately with the XMG, it's just not nearly as accurate by default compared to the XM4, so even adding the buffer weight stock, well, it definitely helps. It doesn't get it even close to as accurate as we can get here with the XM4. But in either case, once again, the last attachment on this is going to be the recoil springs. And with all of that out of the way, you can see just how insanely accurate this gun is. There is very little recoil to control with this, and it's super easy to manage. You just have to pull down very, very slightly with your aim, and this thing will be absolutely pinpoint accurate. Now, some of the downsides with this though, first off, our aim down sight speed, while it is improved a little bit with the ergonomic grip, it's still not amazing, and it's slightly worse than the base XM4 at 269 milliseconds. And then another big key limitation with this is our aim walking speed. The buffer weight stock really destroys the gun in this area, and it gives us a practically LMG level aim walking speed at 2.8 meters per second, which means strafing in gunfights to try to evade shots isn't going to be very effective, and left stick aiming is also going to be a little less effective. But at the end of the day, if you're just going for absolute peak accuracy, this is the build right here that you want to use, again, with the option to swap out to whatever optic you're comfortable with. And if you guys haven't given this one a shot yet, I'd highly recommend it anytime you're on one of the larger maps with longer lines of sight. Obviously, a lot of the maps in this game are much smaller and close quarters, and therefore it doesn't even make sense to go for a peak accuracy build, since you're not going to be getting into long range engagements, and therefore you're generally better off aiming for better mobility or handling stats, for instance. But this one's really fun to use anytime you do end up on those longer range maps, so definitely give it a shot. If you guys enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated. Like I said, if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes of this Best Of series, I will leave those linked down below. And I am still open to suggestions for future episodes of this as well. Is there a particular stat you would like me to find the best possible build for? Just let me know down below. I'll talk to you guys next time.